So we're going to start harvesting our beans in preparation for getting them in the freezer later. So I have my little garden helper here who is picking some beans for us. Make sure you're picking the nice big juicy ones. Okay, there's plenty, aren't there? And this is why we want to get them in the freezer so that we're not wasting anything. Let's have a look.
This one here?
Lovely one there, look at that. Okay, do you want?
Okay.
Just very carefully picking the beans, and where they come off, more will grow over the next week or so.
Oh, look at this one now.
Lovely.
That's been shot forward.
Definitely. So we're looking at the beans that are this sort of size now, and they're absolute best, perfect for freezing. You don't want to leave the beans too long before picking them, otherwise they can go very stringy, and nobody likes a stringy bean. Okay, so we have plenty more over here. There's a huge one there by your leg, look.
What?
Just there.
This one?
Yeah, look at that one.
Wow, okay.
Okay.
Ooh.
I think the beans are loving the Spanish climate. Got a little bit of rain today, which is great because it means that we aren't going to have to be out here for hours watering this evening. So that's always a bit of a treat at this time of year in this part of Spain, when we get a little bit of afternoon rain. It lets us off the task of watering.
Come on, look how big this one is.
Oh, that looks lovely. Okay, so we'll keep going with that, and we'll meet you in the kitchen in a little while. Okay, so here we have today's harvest. Absolutely thrilled with that. We've got so many beautiful succulent beans, way more than our family needs for the next day or so, which is why we're now going to prep the beans and get them in the freezer. So follow us into the kitchen. Okay, so we've brought our bean harvest inside, and we're now giving them a good clean. We want to get rid of any soil, any residue, anything like that, so they're nice and fresh, ready to be blanched and ready to be frozen. Right, so we've got our nice clean beans, and the next thing to do is to top and tail them. So you've got your both ends that you don't want, and we're going to chop those off. And then we're going to cut the beans, so they're all approximately the same size, so that when you come to cook them, they cook at the same rate. That's the simple reason behind that. Okay, so we've washed and trimmed our beans. They're approximately the same size now. The next step is to blanch them with boiling water. Now, some people skip this step, and that's okay. You know, it's fine to actually freeze the beans without blanching them, but the reason for doing that is once they've been blanched, it basically ends the enzyme activity within the beans, and that means that they will stay fresher for longer once they're in the freezer. So that's the reason that we're doing this. It's only a very quick step, but it's worth doing it for the quality of the beans that you're freezing. Okay, so we are going to put the trimmed beans into the boiling water, and they will go in there for 2.5 minutes. It's just a very quick step. Okay, so our beans have blanched now for 2.5 minutes. We've taken them out, and we're now going to plunge them straight into some ice water, and they will stay in there now for the same amount of time that we blanched them for. So they're going to be in there for 2.5 minutes. Okay, so it's important when you pack your veg into your freezer bags that you label it with what's in there, obviously, and the date that you've frozen it, okay? So our beans are now out of the ice water, and we're just pop them onto some kitchen towel, and we're going to just gently dry them off. My glamorous assistant here is going to gently start drying the beans in order for them to be ready to go into their freezer bags. Next step, now that we've got our beans blanched, chilled and mainly dried, we're going to get them into our freezer bag. Okay, so we've got our beans in our freezer bag. Now it's quite important to try to get rid of as much air as you can in the bag before you seal it. So this is a good way to make sure that we have all the air out, and then we're going to seal the bag. Okay, and then beans into the freezer, where they can stay for pretty much as long as you want. 6 months. When you get them out, just treat them as you would any store-bought frozen veg, and enjoy.